Hi everybody, welcome back for another video tutorial for To Die For. Um, Once again, I'm Thad Stelter and I work in the Reference and Readers Advisory Department at the Rawlings Library. What I'm going to do today is actually show you how to tie the V pattern. I recognize in the tutorial where you saw when ice died and then we showed the unveiling. We saw the dyeing process, but I didn't actually show you how to tie it. So that's what I'm going to focus on here. I'm not going to do the dyeing piece on camera, but I will still include a unveiling video so you can see the finished product. And right now I'm thinking about doing like a black and gray ice dye. Seems to be a real cool looking shirt that people enjoy. Anyways, I have my shirt laid out here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to flip it back over and fold it in half lengthwise. And try to get that as even and down the middle as I can. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I have a washable marker here. Color does not matter as long as it's a washable marker. What I'm going to do is start up here at the kind of where the sleeve, the arm sleeve and the shoulder meet. There's that seam there. And I'm just going to draw a rough half of a V. And I mean, this does not have to be perfect. It's just kind of a guide so you can have something to go off of when you're folding the V portion. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what are called pleat folds. And just kind of fold the shirt kind of back and over itself. I usually try to get this bottom piece first, and then you just start folding along the line that you drew. And just try to keep it in on top of that line. And at this point I'll just flip it over and fold the rest like that. So that is folded. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and pop a rubber band on it. And usually that first rubber band I put it on my line, and if part of it kind of comes unraveled while you're putting that first rubber band on, don't sweat it, because you can kind of go back and fix it later. But now that that first band's on, now what I'll do is add some more bands, and I usually start where the shirt is thickest. And once again, how you tie these just kind of depends on how much white will be left over in the shirt. And for this shirt, since it's black with a little gray, I then like to have some white in it. So I'll tie this fairly tight. And broke a band. I reused these, so yeah, they've been through quite a bit, and some of them I'm surprised have lasted as long as they have. And I'll just tie it up and down, and the spacing between each rubber band's kind of up to you. You can put as few or as little bands as you want. I guess I probably have about, probably roughly, maybe a little more than it's probably roughly an inch to an inch and a half between each rubber band. And I'll just do this down the whole length of the shirt. Yeah, whenever I make these, they always seem to get swiped up pretty quickly. Let's see, and so that kind of gives you an idea. I won't sit here and have you watch me put each rubber band on, but basically I'm just going to continue about every inch to half inch until this is all tied. And then, as I mentioned, I'm going to do the ice dye process on this using black and gray dye. What I'll do, usually what I do for this one, this specific shirt, is I don't get it damp before I dye it. I'll wrap it up like I've showed in previous videos, kind of wind it up and put it in the on top of the bucket and have that piece of a like water jug containing the shirt, and then I'll put the ice on top of it, and then I'll sprinkle the dye on top. But yeah, once again, with ice dye you can go either way. You can either put the dye on first or the ice first. Both produce great results. But anyways, thanks for checking out this first part, the process of actually tying the V. Check back for part 2, and I'll show you the result.